I have a piece of property here. It's this, it's a half acre. But my neighbors have that much more or more. We put all our acres together and we have a neighborhood. There's a perimeter around it. It's a certain measurement. And then, we have surrounding neighborhoods too that are like about the same size, and you put all those together. And then you have a district, and it's like a bigger measurement around all of it, right? And then you put that district together with a few other districts over here and there, and then you have that county, and it's like a way bigger perimeter around all of it, right? Then you put that county together, and that county and that other county and a few other counties and that county and that region, and next thing you know, you have the whole state. That's a huge perimeter, It takes you days to get around it. But then there's other states, and then you go add that state, and there's ocean between that one, and you add that, and you have a whole country eventually. And there's a huge perimeter. It started off just real small, like in your yard. It was like just like an acre, half acre, but it got big, and so like you're going around the whole country now, and there's oceans and stuff. But then you start adding the next ocean and the next country over, and the perimeter just keeps increasing because there's more places, and you just keep adding more places. All the places that you've already been through, they're all still right there in the middle. Where you've just been adding. You've been adding the next one, adding more places. There's more places. So there's just more measurements to take, and it's a bigger perimeter around all of it because all those places are still inside that perimeter. You're just expanding. You're just going out and connecting to all the next countries and the next oceans. You're just adding to this thing that you've just been spreading out. There's real measurements around all the places that you've been adding. The perimeter is only going to grow because there's nothing but more places to go to, and you just keep adding to this thing that you've been building. You're only adding. You're never subtracting. So that perimeter is only going to grow. There's more and more places that you've been, and you're added. All these countries, all these oceans, it just gets so wide. And it's what happens, because it's just going to spread out. You're just adding all these real places that have real measurements, and it's wider and wider and wider, and there's just more. I mean, eventually we're going to encompass like the whole known world. We'll have all those places eventually, and the perimeter is going to be so fucking massive. I think you would eventually get to a point where it's like you got everything, and now the only place to go is like it's just too cold, and it's just hard to keep going now because it's just unlivable. It's like there's no cities, there's no countries. It's just the whole perimeter is just freezing, and it's just like there's no life. It's just dark most of the time, and it's just fucked up, and we don't want to keep doing this anymore. We're done. And the perimeter is so massive, it's got the whole world, and and you can't keep going because it's just too cold. You're gonna die. And or do you think it would be that, or do you think it would be like this? Just some little circle in the snow somewhere with a red and white striped pole sticking out of the middle. What do you think is more likely gonna happen?